buy some stock in Colt 45 because Lando is coming back to episode 9. What's going on, you guys? I want to talk to you today about episode 9. It's pretty much being reported by enough news outlets now that it's fair to go ahead and talk about Lando, Billy Dee Williams, coming back to Star Wars Episode 9. Now, this has not been yet made official by Lucasfilm, but I imagine within like the next week or two, they probably will come out with it because it's like a secret that's pretty much already out of the box. They're just not talking about it yet, but everybody else is talking about it, so that's why we're going to talk about it. I also do want to remind you guys that there is still time to enter the latest giveaway, which is for X-Wing 2.0 conversion kits in the form of a cool stuff gift card. All it takes to enter any of my giveaways like this one is to become a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. With that out of the way, I want to go ahead and dive in and let's talk about Billy Dee Williams coming back. So if you follow Billy Dee Williams on social media like I do, I'm a big Billy Dee Williams fan. My third son is named Lando, and funny story about that. I'll talk about that later because that's kind of off topic. But big Billy Dee Williams fan here, so I do follow him, and I've noticed this for a while, even before it was rumored that he had been getting into shape, and there's been a lot of talk about him. I originally had thought he was going to make his way back in episode 8 when they were announcing Canto Bight and that it would be a casino. I had thought it would be the perfect opportunity to bring Billy Dee Williams back in, even if he was old or maybe frail or maybe not in the best shape to shoot a movie, they could still have him sitting at a table, gambling, and that would be the perfect way to introduce him. However, that did not happen, so now is a great time. For one reason, one thing that's great about bringing him back for episode 9 is the fact that they're not following the original trilogy. Episode 7 was heavily criticized for being just a carbon copy of episode 4, and I understand that, but I also felt it was safe. They wanted to do some stuff, and, I get that. But I felt it might have been too much drawing on the same exact criticism if Lando had come back in the second part of the trilogy, just like he was introduced in the second part of the original trilogy. So maybe that's why they didn't introduce him then. Or perhaps it was contractual obligations, but I don't know exactly why. But he has never really stopped being a part of Star Wars. Billy Dee's always done conventions. And Billy Dee has also always done Lando. He's been voicing Lando in Star Wars Rebels. So if you follow Star Wars Rebels, yes, that was actually Billy Dee Williams doing Lando, which is great. Which also tells you he's still just as smooth as he's always been, which tells you he's still got it. Billy Dee's still got it. But in some recent interviews over the past couple of months, or all year long rather, he's been talking about how he's been getting back into shape and his doctors have him on a new diet. Now, why does a 70-something-year-old man just decide to randomly get in shape if not for a big part, especially maybe one of the biggest parts in the latter part of his life? So definitely this is a big deal for Billy Dee Williams, and I think maybe that had something to do with why he wasn't brought into one of the other movies sooner. Maybe he just wasn't in enough shape for filming a major part of a movie. Now, it's unclear at this time just how much of this movie he's going to be in, what kind of role he's going to play. Obviously, he's going to play Lando Calrissian, but what we really don't know is how much of a star in this movie is he going to be? How much presence, how much screen time is he going to have? You could easily assume that he may have a similar level of support in this movie that Harrison Ford did. I think this is also a safe play by Disney to try to win back some of those hardcore fans that are really upset with The Last Jedi. I am not one of them. The Last Jedi was not my favorite Star Wars movie, but I'm not upset with it. I understand what it had to do, and I understand that it's taking Star Wars in a different direction. It's not the direction I would have chosen, but I'm okay with it. I'm just happy to see more Star Wars content, as long as it's not like Forces of Destiny, because I really don't like the animation style on that, and I just don't watch those. That being said, I really do have a lot of excitement for episode 9, because I think episode 9 is going to be that wraps up this trilogy, lets us move past this into future things. I do expect a huge space battle in episode 9, and I'm hoping that Billy Dee is going to, or Lando, I'm going to use Billy Dee and Lando interchangeably at this point, but I'm hoping that Lando's character has a lot to do with that. Maybe bringing, because we know that at the end of episode 8, the resistance or the new rebellion is pretty much shattered. So maybe he'll have a lot to do with bringing forces in, because he's a man of significant power. So I'm going to talk about the book Last Shot a little bit, because that is going to have potentially something to do with this, and that is also another teaser and spoiler reason why you can expect Billy Dee to return in episode 9 is because they wrote this whole book about Lando. Yes, it was setting up the Han Solo movie. So Solo as a Star Wars story had a lot to do with Last Shot. I mean, obviously that book was written for that purpose, but it was also written in the sequel trilogy timeline-esque when Ben Solo is just a toddler. But it's written past Return of the Jedi to kind of set up Lando's future, which hasn't been talked about a whole lot. It was talked about a little bit in the Aftermath trilogy. There's this one scene where he gets a gun and sends it off to the baby Ben Solo, and Uncle Lando, there's going to be a gun from Uncle Lando. There's that one part there. But in Last Shot, a lot of it is setting up a future for Lando, and I think that was done deliberately to establish something new about his character in episode 9, and it's not particularly spoilery, but that he basically gets romantically involved with a Twi'lek. And so it's possible you may see Lando married in episode 9, or even have a child. Now, a child for Lando would be awesome. I would love to see that. A young Calrissian might have green eyes, maybe look interesting. Like a Twi'lek human hybrids can really range in spectrum on their appearance. We've seen Twi'lek human hybrids in the Clone Wars that had the Leiku. We've also seen Twi'lek human hybrids in Star Wars Rebels, or at least a hybrid in Star Wars Rebels, which appeared to be more human. So if they want to go with the more human route, it might be a perfect opportunity for them to introduce another young actor or actress in the form of a young Calrissian or actress. Maybe Lando has a daughter, and wouldn't that suit him for being such a ladies' man? Maybe he would now have a change of heart about all of his ways. So a lot of potential there. Let's talk about what maybe the elephant in the room when we think about Lando coming back to episode 9. Are they going to kill Lando? So I don't think so. My vote is I say no. I say they're not going to kill Lando. Reason being, they've killed everybody else. Well, granted, they didn't kill Leia, but they're going to have to in episode 9. She's probably, we do expect that she will, basically, I expect episode 9 will start out with a funeral for Leia. But by that point, all of the original cast will have died, at least in the in canon universe. So I don't think they'll kill Lando, just because I think that would be a little bit too much. But if they did, I think they would give him a very heroic and a non-Akbar death. But still, I don't think they're going to kill him. I think he will be able to ride off into the sunset or retire in peace or something like that. He's going to be like the one cast member that makes it out alive. That's my prediction. But if I'm wrong, I do expect that if he does die, he'll have a glorious death, go down as some type of martyr or some type of blaze of glory, kind of. Think of as if Return of the Jedi happened and he didn't make it out of the Death Star. Some kind of sacrificial, fantastic death, if he does get one. I hope not, though, because they've been killing too many people, and it seems like people are dying just for the sake of having them die. I feel like that was one of my problems with The Last Jedi. I feel like Luke died just for the sake of killing somebody. It didn't feel meaningful to me. But I understand a lot of people have different opinions on that, and I think everybody's opinion is fine. Let's just talk about it and not insult each other about it. But I want to hear what you think. So let's talk to me in the comments about Lando. How do you feel about Billy Dee Williams coming back? Do you think Episode 9 could be good enough to redeem Star Wars in the eyes of those who are very jaded right now? Do you think Billy Dee Williams coming back to Star Wars is going to be enough of a pull to get fans that are boycotting these films to come back? Look, Solo, a Star Wars story, was hurting right now, right? It didn't get as many people at the box office as they had expected. Still made a lot of money. I still enjoyed it. Was not my favorite movie, though, because I don't like backstories as much, and I wanted a huge space battle that a movie about Han Solo was just never going to give us. I like big space battles, and I like people with lightsabers, so there was only a little bit of stuff in Solo for me to really go crazy about, but I enjoyed it, and it was done well. But a lot of people are boycotting Star Wars movies right now. A lot of fans are upset. Maybe pulling Lando back is going to be the thing that gets everybody excited and gets everybody, saying, all right, you know what, I'm going to give you one more try. And maybe they can do it. One of the biggest things I think about Episode 9 that's going to really, really make it fun is the fact that J.J. Abrams is back at the helm. So now at least you have the person who started this to finish it. Hopefully he will answer some questions Problem is, JJ doesn't always answer all those questions. So again, I'm happy seeing JJ doing it. I think at least it's better than a brand new person coming in and trying to, you know, take it in an entirely third different direction. Because I think that was maybe one of the biggest problems with episode 8, is that it felt like Rian Johnson just had his own separate idea for the way that he wanted it to go, and it was very diametrically opposed to the way that JJ wanted it to go. So I felt like I'm being pulled in two completely different directions with these two movies, and I just wanted a singular focus. So that's why I'm willing to give Rian Johnson a shot when it comes to his trilogy, and that's why I'm happy that JJ is bringing this trilogy to a conclusion since he started it. Hopefully he'll at least be back on one of the directions, hopefully that first direction, because I really enjoyed episode 7, even though it was so familiar with episode 4. Very excited about Lando though, so let me know what you think about Billy Dee Williams coming back to reprise his role as Lando in episode 9. Are you as excited as I am? I don't know if you're going to name your child Lando over it, but one of these days I'll tell you the story about how I got my wife to agree to name our son Lando. I will talk to you guys later. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you think I should make a story about the way I got my wife to name our child Lando, let me know about that. I don't think I'll make a whole video about that, but that is a funny story. And I will talk to you guys later. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe, click that bell for alerts, so you can be on the notification squad. Check out Crabbok.com, and a big thanks to all my patrons out there on Patreon. I want to thank you guys so much for helping make this all happen. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.